Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We're looking ahead to Chorley on Tuesday night, and we go there in a great frame of mind after Saturday's win.
Yeah, the result, a lot of elements of the performance were really pleasing for us, particularly obviously the first half, the lads really stuck to the game plan that we gave them, and they carried that out to a T. Couldn't ask any more of the players. They were fantastic, and obviously the second half, I think with it being sort of real unknown territory for the players in terms of just being in that position, probably came to a bit of a shock to them as well. So I think naturally, you're not going to repeat the same performance of the first half. And with just being where we are, you're naturally going to play a little bit on edge, and you try and see out the first sort of 15, 20 minutes, and sort of tick that section of the second half off, and then you move on to sort of the middle section. That was how we tried to frame it to them, and obviously after sort of 50, I think it's 12 minutes it was into the second half, they scored via deflection. Yeah. And obviously naturally it sort of puts everyone on edge a little bit. And obviously the second goes in, which is again, with 20 minutes to go, or ends up being sort of 30 minutes that the boys play, obviously with the additional time. But they dug in ever so well. Showed great, grit, determination, resilience, togetherness. We talk a little bit about, a lot about sort of 1%, but doing your job but helping your mate out as well. And that was evident. It was really clear that the boys, we're really buying into what we're asking of them, and they fully deserved the victory.
Yeah. It was a proper nail biter, though, wasn't it? I mean, we were all very nervous away from the pitch. So, what were you and Josh and the rest of the lads like on the technical area?
Well, you try and stay obviously cool and collected, and you're trying to give clear, sort of concise messages for the team. And of course, when they scored a second, they sort of changed their shape a little bit, and they played with a bit more natural whip. So I was just trying to have a clear head, recognize that, and made a slight change to the shape, and made a couple of subs just to try and nullify that. And I think that probably did help us sort of see out that last period. Of course, the players had to dig in and help each other, and put their head to crosses, and essentially obviously do their job and do a job for their mate as well. But yeah, I think that in those moments, of course, it's nail biting. Obviously, you hope and you believe that the players can hold on, and we believe that they would have done that, and they did. So it's fantastic all round.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking back at that first half, it'll do Johnny Nketiahs the world of good as well, won't it, for him to notch his first goal?
Yeah, I think so. Goals, of course, naturally bring sort of confidence for players. So when he's in those areas again, he can relax because he knows he scored before. And I think he's deserved it as well. I think some of his performances, since he's come in, have warranted that, and he's been close. So he's been knocking on the door. I think that sort of 10 role suited him in terms of his, attacking sort of prowess. He making runs beyond, the 9 as well. And just try being clever and sort of link the midfield to the attack as well. And of course, we're asking both sides of the game from the players, and obviously the out of possession stuff. In terms of Roberts, their deep line midfield player, didn't really allow him to get on the ball and dictate play, which they tried to do. So we were pleased with that as well.
Cameron Salkeld scored for the second Saturday running. Cool as you like, mine now, isn't he? It scored that goal at Farsi, which obviously did in the world of good. And yes, he had the confidence to run into the box and score in the way he did.
Yeah, I think Cam, he works ever so hard, and obviously the goals that he scored over the last week, the 2 goals, he's fully deserved them. And he on occasions, quite frequently in games, he gets himself into really good, penetrating positions where he can, deliver slide passes to players, or crosses in the box, or cutbacks, or even obviously get shots off himself. And I think for him, it's just about trying to find consistency in front of goal, whether that's crossing or whether it's his obviously, his sort of shooting to score. And he's just beginning to find that, which is pleasing because, again, his hard work is deserved that, and he's been a big part of, our sort of turning sort of results of late.
Yeah. And looking at the defence as well, it'll do them the power of good, won't it, to know that they can hold on against strong pressure that Chester threw at us in those last 20 plus 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, it's something that we've worked a lot on in training. Gaffer has a practice that sort of replicates that type of scenario in short bursts. We did it, towards when we first come in, and it was quite alarming how that sort of practice went for us. And we did it, not too long ago, and the improvements were massive. In terms of the back four, back five, whatever it might be, really defending the box. And as soon as we went, obviously the two down, and obviously continued to play for a further 30 minutes, they defended the box really, really well. And it's really pleasing because it just shows that obviously the work that we're obviously doing on the training pitch, is having an effect when it comes to those scenarios presenting themselves on the pitch.
Yeah. So it paid off on Saturday. It's lifted us to third from bottom now, Danny. We've gone above 2 clubs thanks to that. And hopefully if we keep on winning, we won't go above anybody on Tuesday night if we win. But if we keep on winning, we can get ourselves away from this bottom 4.
Yeah, I mean, people look at the table, of course, naturally, obviously, where we're at, where we've been at. We have to just focus on ourselves and our own performances and know that if we do that, then the rest will sort of take care of itself. But of course, when you obviously look at it and, we're off the bottom, at this moment in time, for the players, certainly, it gives them that sort of boost as well. And we can begin to really start to see, and get closer to obviously teams that are above us. And obviously the idea is to start sort of picking them off one by one.
And let's just hope it starts with the win tomorrow night, eh?
Well, of course, obviously we had the great result at Farsley, and we were unable to back it up away at Peterborough on Tuesday, albeit again the first half performance was good for the most part. So we need to learn from that. We've put some footage to the players today that they'll look at and give us some feedback from. So without having a session in between, they're as best prepared as we possibly can get them. Of course, physically, the players need to do, what we've asked of them as well in terms of, the recovery and the active recovery stuff, through Sunday and Monday, and ultimately give ourselves the best chance of obviously having a performance. We have a game plan. Chorley, it's a tough team, tough place to go and get a result. And, at any time of the season, they all seem to be thereabouts. They have a particular style of play which can be difficult to nullify and to play against if you don't stick to your own game plan. So it's important that we do that, and if we do that, then we'll give ourselves a chance of a result.